Hello, lovely people. It's Nicola back in the Stitches and Slapdashery sewing room. I could be doing housework this morning, but with all the options for crafting around me, why would I? Vacuuming and bathrooms are just going to need doing again in a little while, so they can wait. I'm surrounded by my lovely craft supplies. Honestly, is that heaven or what? I've got my new set of pens here, my sketchbook, so that I can make another little notebook or journal, my stickers, my scissors, and my double-sided tape. And today I thought I would make a couple of little notebooks. I have these two little cards out of an Uppercase magazine, which I've told you before. Uppercase magazine is like the most beautiful magazine out there. No ads, just gorgeous artwork contributed by artists all over the world. And this one person in Calgary, I think, she puts it together every quarter, and it's got a lovely weight to it. Like the paper in the magazine is not thin and glossy. It's like cardstock. And if I were to subscribe to that, which I will one day, I'm determined to subscribe to that one day. It is $96 Canadian a year. But at some point, I'm going to treat myself. Maybe when I get some Christmas money, if my mum's still sending me Christmas money at that point. But it is so lovely. And when I took the latest issue out of the library the other day, it had these two removable cards in it. And I thought, I'm going to be cheeky and keep those. They're going to fall out, or someone else is going to take them at some point. And I just love this shine brightly so your people can find you. Back's pretty too. I can just chop off the bit at the bottom about Uppercase. And then this one has the picture of the front cover of the magazine on it, but the back is just a lovely pattern, so I can definitely use that. So I thought that would make a great cover for the magazine. Actually, these two, this print has lots of pinks in it, which kind of goes better with that, doesn't it? So this could be the inside cover, maybe. Very pretty anyhow. So there's that. And then today I emptied out a Yorkshire tea box. I put all the bags into a jar on my countertop. Sorry, just getting distracted by a dog walker. And I thought, I don't want to throw this Yorkshire tea box away. Look at all that lovely cardboard I could use for a notebook cover. And I have a friend who's as nuts about Yorkshire tea as I am. And one year, I made her a birthday card out of a Yorkshire tea box. And inside it, I stapled an emergency tea bag. I think she was sufficiently amused. So I think that this needs to become the cover of another notebook. So we'll see how that works out. I've tried to set my table up so that you can see what I'm doing, but unfortunately it also means that my tripod is a little in my way, and I haven't opened it out all the way, otherwise the leg would be sticking out all the way to here. Anyway, I need to figure out how big I want this Yorkshire tea notebook to be. Thick. Probably not very. Not going to be like a journal, probably just be a little notebook for keeping in your bag. I'm going to start out with cutting out the cover. Still got some tea powder in it. You know what would also be fun is to tea dye the paper that I'm going to put in it. But I don't think I'm going to do that today, because that means a whole extra step plus, ooh, that sounded bad, didn't it? Plus waiting for it to dry. Oh, it would mean I wouldn't be able to do it until tomorrow. And tomorrow, my lovely boss has scheduled me for an 8-hour shift. So, considering how knackered I was after yesterday's 4-hour shift, I think I will be absolutely useless tomorrow night. And that was pretty brain dead. I did end up picking up the crochet. Honestly, I waste a lot of time. I guess not all of it was wasted. I looked at the clock at about 7:20 and I thought, oh, 2 hours. Now let's see, I could do some crochet in that time and get good progress made on the Technicolor Dream Coat. I ended up faffing about. I did make a meal plan and a shopping list for the coming 2 weeks. But by the time I put that down, it was 20 to 9. And yeah, the evening was almost over, in theory. But I did pick up my crochet hook for a while. And I got a few rounds done on the sleeves. So what I've done with the Technicolor Dream Coat is I have decided not to do the front bands yet, because if I do the front band, it means I can't extend the length. So what I have done is I have finished the hood, I've attached the hood, and the front bands will wait until I get the sleeves done. And just have a little whinge. There's some major problems with the instructions for the sleeves as well. At one point she says, attach to the slip stitch to something in row 3. At that point you're on row 7, so what she meant was row 6. And her stitch counts were completely wrong. Completely wrong for that row. I don't really want to. Oh, so what do? Do I use these two or this? I don't know. I think it'd be kind of fun to use the back of the box and the front of the box. I'm going to have to tidy up the sizes. I hope my Fiskus cutter can manage to straighten up that cardboard without struggling. Because I wanted to cut off the thick flaps that were glued on the back of this piece, I ended up cutting it down quite considerably. I think that's a cute size. And now all I have to do is cut the same size for the paper, maybe just a little bit smaller, perhaps. Now what I've done is, I think I have 12 pages in there. Anyway, it's quite thin. And I want to use some rubber stamps. So rather than fill up these pages and not leave any room for notes, I thought I'd use some of the offcuts and interleave them in there and put the fun stuff on those and then just pop those in. Just for a little fun extra. I've got this rather nice one and it says, hang on, let's just look at the back. Of all possessions, a friend is the most precious. So, let's see if I can do this without making a big mess. At least this is a well-made stamp. It doesn't look like it's going to splurge everywhere. Not bad. I probably could have pressed a bit harder, but it's readable. And one thing I've noticed about these gel pens is that they do take a while to dry. And when I was using them the other day, I noticed I was getting a little bit impatient, and it was creating an issue because I was closing the journal I was making on wet ink. Not a good idea. Oh, that one came out really well. That's a really cute bird and basket of tulips. And now this one is a rather fun little frog with some flowers. Oh, lovely. Look at that one. Isn't that cute? Now, one of the things I wouldn't mind doing is looking online for some quotes about tea. I think that would be fun. Maybe I could write a little poem in there about tea, or, oh, I just went a bit mad with that one. I managed to get ink on the edges. I have to be really careful not to make a big mess. Oh, that worked out. That's a pretty flowery one. So yeah, actually these little pieces, these little inserts would be fantastic to put a little quote about tea or about friendship or something like that. But what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to switch off my phone, or rather stop recording, so that I can look those up and write them in. Ooh, that one didn't work too well on here. Look at that. I didn't quite manage to print that properly. Oh, and that one worked nicely too. So I've got a spare one here. I think I might try and do the friendship one again, because it did come out a little faint. Gives me a good reason to use my gel pens again. So I had a little hitch, which I had to fix. I started to write on these bits of paper, and then I remembered I had to leave room for the spine here, which is going to be along this edge, and obviously I'm going to lose about 1/2 inch off the edge. So I had to re-stamp a couple of these. So one of my quotes that I found on the internet is, "Tea is always a good idea." It was just I just did a search for quotes for tea and friendship, and all these memes came up. "Life is like a teacup to be filled to the brim and enjoyed with friends." This one I didn't write on because it already takes up quite a bit of the paper, so I didn't want to overfill it. This one says, "A cup of tea solves everything." This one says, "Tea, a hug in a cup." And this one says, "Come and share a pot of tea. My home is warm and my friendship's free." So I probably should be a little patient and let those dry for a bit longer. Patience is not one of my strengths, I have to say. So while those are drying, I will whack a hole through this. Do I want 2 holes or 3? It's very small, isn't it? First, I should probably decide what string I'm going to use to bind it. I found some cotton blend yarn. I think it might be Knit Picks Shine. It's from a long, long time ago. But because it's red, I think it fits the Yorkshire tea box theme. Now, I just had a thought. When I put these in there, they're going to maybe move around a bit. Oh, I think it's okay. I think I can manage to put 2 holes in each so that they don't slide out. Good. All right, so I'm going to stack these now, and let's hope they're dry. Because I don't want to wait any longer. I'll use this just to mark where I want the holes to be. Don't want too low. There. I just did something silly. I went and bound the layers together without attaching these guys inside. And now we're doing it all over again. I was obviously too gentle with that. Alright, let's see, where are we going to put this one? I like the friendship one. I want that to go in the front. This could be tricky, making sure that all the holes are lined up properly. So let's skip 2 pages and then put another one in. And then skip another 2 pages. While I am layering these, I should probably think about whether I want to add anything else in. Do I want a little envelope for a tea bag? No, I don't think so. We're not going to actually include a real tea bag in this one. Not this time. Now we're going to clamp the layers together. Hope they behave themselves. And to use some cotton blend yarn to do this. Now you don't want the twine or the yarn to be too thick for this, because you're going to go through each of the holes 3 times. So you go up through the bottom hole, leave a bit of a tail so that you've got enough to knot later, then down through the middle one, and up through the top one. Then you wrap over the top and come up that one again, and then wrap to the side and come up it again. You can see how it's making a spine. Rather clever. Down through the center one. When I made that one the other day, I was using a jute twine, and by the time my needle went through these holes the 3rd time, it was quite a struggle. So I'm going to wrap this way down around the bottom of the book. And then I'm going to take it around to the side. And then I'll turn it over and knot it. And that's all there is to it. Super easy. Now, if I thought that was going to slip undone, I could always put a dot of glue on it, but I don't think I'll need to. There we are, a little Yorkshire tea notebook. So there's little inserts in there. There's place for my friend to write in. And every now and again, uh-oh, got a little bit of ink on there. Oh no, maybe not. It's just some fluff. Every now and again, there's a little quote and a picture to make it a little more interesting. Maybe I could put a little dedication in the back. My next project is going to be using this. I absolutely love that design with all the birds with the lovely feathers. So that's going to be the front cover, and that is perfectly good side for the inside front cover. You don't have to do anything with that. The back cover is going to be this, but I need to cover this up with something, and I found this pad in my stash, which has got all sorts of wacky patterns in. I think I got this at the thrift shop. Cheap. Oh look, it even says there $2.99. So I found this one, which is rather lovely. So I think what I'm going to do is cover this with this. I think this is called Creative Chaos, isn't it? Something like that. Perfect. All right, let's use this double-sided tape. There we are. Isn't that pretty? So that's the front cover, that's the back cover. In fact, I like that side better for the back cover, I think. Yeah, I think I might put that on the inside. All right, so my cover is sorted. And what's awesome is that having made that Yorkshire tea one, I have these offcuts that weren't quite big enough for the Yorkshire tea one, but they're going to be perfect for pages for this. I've cut 9 pages of the white sketchbook paper for this, and I've also cut another piece of that flowery to go in there because it's plain on the back, it can be written on. And I thought I'd just have another look through this pad, see if there's anything that's not too out there. Maybe that one. It's a little glossy. It could still be written on with a ballpoint pen, I suppose. Let's see what else. We've got purple. You know what? Purple might work too because there's some purple in that bird's wing. I feel like if I use this one, I can't use this one. I don't know. Let me think. Or would I prefer to use that one or that one? I don't know. I like this one, I think. Oh, more solids. Oh, less shiny solids. Oh, this is actually a little translucent. Oh, I love this. This pink. You can actually see my hand through it. Oh my gosh, I like that. Okay. We're going to put a piece of that in just to make it a little more full and pretty. And then it gets into the real wacky stuff again. Okay. I'm going to use some of that, some of that, some of that, some of that. I'm pretty happy with the pages I have put together for this one. I've got some pink and purple and flowery and stuff. And I put the friend stamp on that first page, but I'm going to let that dry. And I just realized that some of the stickers in here would be suitable for this book because they are cups of tea. Now let's just have a quick look through this. Obviously this Yorkshire tea one doesn't have a seasonal theme. Somewhere in here I noticed some rather appropriate stickers. Ah, here we go. Teapots and hot drinks. So let's decide where those are going to go. Maybe on a plainer spread. Right in there, maybe. One thing about these is they don't want to stay open until you've bent the spine back on itself. There we go. Going to have to happen at some point. Might as well do it now. So that one is, I think, finished. We'll hope so. All right, I think this is probably dry enough now. I think this one's a bit thicker, so it's going to need a bit more hammering. Hammering's one of the funnest bits. And she's done. I think that's pretty. I think that's rather lovely. Achievement unlocked. 2 little gifts made. And they're not particularly seasonal gifts. I can give them to them anytime. This is where I'm at on the Technicolor Dream Coat. You can probably only see the top half of it, so I'll probably climb on the chair in a second. Hopefully you'll be able to see me. All right, so it has a hood, a pointy hood. This should be a thumbnail, shouldn't it? Anyway, as you can probably tell, the hood is not as deep as it should be yet, because at some point I'll be adding the front bands on here, which extend up and around the hood. So despite all the challenges, the hood got done. And I still have all my ends, all my tails hanging off the front there. The sleeves are started. A nice little row of bobbles there. And if I stand on my chair, maybe you can see. So it doesn't meet at the front, really, unless I stretch it. But that's okay, because it's going to have those front bands on. I may simplify the front bands because they look really annoying and complicated and fussy. So I may just do something plainer than the pattern has. And it's about knee length. So when I have finished my sleeves, I'll know how much yarn I have left to play with. But yeah, isn't it crazy bright? Absolutely nuts, huh? So I think there's a good chance that I could get those sleeves done and the front bands done by the end of the month. What's it today? I'm not sure what the date is today. I'm not sure what the date is today, but I think it's the middle of November. And that gives me 2 weeks. I'm going to have to scoot on this, aren't I? Crazy hood, crazy colours, a bazillion ends to weave in. But the end is in sight. I was hoping to have an almost finished Bali hat to show you tonight. However, I realised that I was doing the decreases all wrong, so I ripped it back to the plain section, the straight section. I put a lifeline into below where I started the decreases because I briefly glanced at the instructions today while I was out. I put some markers in to do 6 decrease sections, and I started decreasing every round. And there were 2 issues with that. First issue was that I was not supposed to be decreasing every round, not from the get-go. I was supposed to be decreasing every other round, down to about half the amount of stitches and then decreasing every round. But I obviously skipped that bit. And the other part is that because the knitted Bali hat has the garter stitch section, I was decreasing in the middle of a garter stitch section and also on the edge of one, and it looked absolutely terrible. So yeah, I put the lifeline in, ripped back, and I'm going to have to give that some more thought. I should probably just follow the pattern, shouldn't I? Although I am 4 stitches different from the pattern because I cast on fewer stitches than the pattern called for. And I might just still try. When will I ever learn? I might still just try and wing it. Well, Nicola, what do you expect if you're not going to follow the pattern? How do you expect it to turn out? This is lovely and cozy on the lap. I don't actually want to wear it. It could be a substitute blanket in a pinch, couldn't it? Good grief. I keep flubbing this. What do you think of the hair? I blow dried it flat today. Last time I had it cut, I had a different stylist in the same salon cut my hair. She said, do you ever blow dry it flat, style it straight? And I was like, not really. I tend to like a bit of height on the top of my head, kind of balance out my face. But today I decided just to blow dry it flat. I put a little bit of light gel in it and then blow dried it. And you can really see the grey in it. I don't have a problem with that. I absolutely don't have a problem with that. But when it's smoother rather than curlier, you can definitely see more grey. And I have a funny section right back here, which I think is just greyer than the rest of everything else. It's kind of funny. But I met my friends at the coffee shop today, and one of them just gushed over my hair. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it works. Depends what mood I'm in. The nice thing is that it's the sort of length that I can just change the direction or go flat or go a little bit puffier or spikier. I had a encounter with a customer from my previous job yesterday, and she made a comment about the fact she almost didn't recognize me because I didn't have brightly colored hair. She said, "I heard your voice," and I thought, I know that voice from somewhere. And then she looked at me and she was like, "But where's her hair color?" Because I almost always had hair color in at my last job. And I still have some pink and some blue in the cupboard upstairs, and I'm thinking, I don't have to pre-bleach my hair. I could just put some color in just for fun. It would be soft. It wouldn't be really, really vibrant, but that would be fine. So I may yet do that. So the bit of footage I made of me making those 2 notebooks, that was 3 days ago. And I gave my friends their notebooks today, and they seemed really pleased with them. Hope they enjoy using them. The last 2 days were full, 2 8-hour shifts. Wow. Really, really busy at work right now. So many people buying for Christmas. It's insane. And I'm really glad, though, that my plantar fasciitis does seem to be responding to treatment. And I wasn't limping by the end of the day, which is wonderful because it was really getting me down. And then today being a day off, I was able to go out for a walk this afternoon with Mr. Stitches and enjoy a bit of fresh air and a little bit of daylight just before it all disappeared for the night. So that was nice. Well, I think that's all I've got to talk about for today. It's been a week since I last uploaded a video, and I thought it was about time I did another one. So just the papercraft and the crochet for today. Hopefully by the next video I'll have finished that barley hat because I want to get it off my whip list. And it would be nice to tie up a few loose ends before we start Vlogmas, which is coming up real quick. And I have all my planned projects for December that I want to have time for, and I do not want lots of stuff hanging over my head from November or before. That's why this coat has to get done. And once the barley hat's done, I will still have a portable project because my 10-stitch blanket is languishing. I haven't forgotten about it. It's in a project bag in my living room, looking at me accusingly for leaving it be for so long. Yeah, we won't talk about the one that's even older than that. Okay, I think it's time to say goodbye for now. So I will love you and leave you, and I'll see you next time for something else. Bye for now.